doing today?
Better than ever.
Okay, I already looked splattered with colors, right? But I also have the white on, so later on I'm going to get really powdered up with the kids. I hope there was a couple of kids here today.
There's 4 of them.
Yeah, oh good. There's kids here today. But we got big kids coming, right? We got some big kids doing it? Yes, okay. Good. Great, we're going to have some fun outside. So, Holi ho!
Holi ho!
Holi ho! That's the way you say the greeting for Holi. Holi ho! Holi ho! As you're splashing colors, it's a festival, a celebration, the joyous expression of life, right? It's all over India, and now it's come all around the world, and you'll see this celebration of that life is exuberant, right? It's full of color, it's full of life, and there's many stories that go along all over India about the, how, the reasons for the holiday and what's going on. And it comes, I believe it's Holi is from Holika, right? Holika, the idea that Holika was overcome actually by the gods because she was the sister of the king, the mighty king. And now this king was like, he had gotten this boom from the gods that nobody could touch him, right? So now he thought, I'm God. That's what happens to us. We get things going a little good and we think, now I'm God, right? I got it. That's what that I'm God means. I think I got it. So this king thought he wanted everybody to worship him now, right? We want everybody to think our way is the right way. That's our little soul way of saying, worship me, So, but he had it in a very pronounced way. Everybody needs to worship him. Well, the only one that wouldn't worship him was his son, Prahlad. And Prahlad was very sincere and kind, and he believed that, no, God is God, and I'm sorry, you're dad, and you're just who you are. And so the king wanted his son killed. So he asked his sister, who had this boom, that she can go in fire, and she'd go in fire all the time. She would go through fire, and she'd be fine. So he had her go with him into the fire, take him into fire, and then she would be fine, and he would get burned up. Nice dad, right? So anyway, the story goes that what happened because of his pureness of heart and kindness of spirit, that nothing happened to Prahlad. And it was Holika that got burned up, and through the ashes, colors came out, and everybody shares the ashes and throws all the color around, and everybody's in celebration because, again, what happens? The darkness is overcome by the lights, right? And also, as we did our songs and our chants, we talked about that deepness, going deep to understand our connection, holding on to that connection to the divine, as is calling to our own hearts, right? My foolish heart, listen to your heart. Why do you weep? It's all there. It's here, right? Each one of us has had it at some point. Whether it was in that hug, whether it was in that song, whether it was in that glorious walk, whether it was in that book that you read, or whatever it was. It's trusting in that, and growing in that, and allowing the colors of that to emanate and shine forth from us, because we have been given so much. Today we talk about, in our words of wisdom, we talk about energy centers. We talk about opening them up and allowing those colors to shine out. All of us have auras that come out of us. We've had Dominic down here who does the photographs of your auras, and you can see the pictures of the colors that actually come around you. Psychologists say that if you paint certain rooms, certain colors, they help. Certain rooms, if you want certain colors, like you want people to eat more, then you would have that color. They say babies cry more in yellow rooms. If they're around yellow, too much yellow, they'll cry more. Green seems to be the color that actually most people stay calm with. Green, right? It's no wonder green with the grass, and green is with our heart chakra, right? So we're all wanting that love and being in that place of love and light. So it's so beautiful to have all the color and the richness of life. So why is it so dark sometimes? Why does it get so dark? so dark in our own thinking about the way we think things should be. But why does it get so dark in our world? In our world. I know there's a lot of light in our world, but there is a lot of darkness. And a lot of times we hear about the darkness, and I don't want this day to go past without speaking about, just adding to the idea of what happened yesterday. We heard the news about, again, another brutal shooting. This is darkness in our world. My response to that, I'm going to read it to you because I want to talk to you a little bit about this, my process of what happened with this, because it's a process of going through the fire and maybe somehow finding light in the midst of darkness. So I wrote an email to a lot of our friends, a local mosque over here in Huntington, and to the other mosques and our friends of the Turkish Cultural Center. I said to all my brothers and sisters in the Muslim faith, my heart sank when I read the news this morning about yet another brutal massacre of innocent people in their houses of worship, their mosques. I was in Christchurch, New Zealand. It was such a friendly city. Happy people. Nice people to each other. So you can see how this is like a real shock to anybody. Anybody who's been near New Zealand, it's a very shock to what that's like. As the shock ran through me, not again. I immediately thought of the Muslim community. For you, it is not just an act of hate, but terror. We too often hear the word terrorism and forget it means shaking the very core of one's life. In fact, a whole population's life. So, for those victimized, my heart says, I realize this is much deeper for you, and I want to help carry the pain. And then I ask, how can hate like this be carried in any heart and call it human? How? Why? When will we come back to the basic truth of being one family, brothers and sisters of humanity? How do we desecrate the vulnerable moment of another's prayer? How have we moved so far from the sacred that we lost what is precious and pure and tender? Maybe it's in the staleness of our own prayer life. Maybe it is in seclusion in our own activities. How do our hearts get so hard that we must break the hearts of the whole world to feel again and again? Because this is just one of many, right? So many communities, so many ways. Oh, how my heart cries out, enough! I pray that we can bring back the sacred and honor and respect it in all its forms. My prayers go out to all those personally suffering due to the tragedy in New Zealand and to all of us, as it is a sad reflection on our world today. In solidarity, your humble sister. So that was just my letter to them, but then I said, what? You write a letter and you put it out there, but you got to do more. You see, you got to walk through the fire yourself, because I believe, I'm a student of Course in Miracles, and it tells me that the world is an outside picture of an inner condition. So where in my life am I not seeing another as my brother and sister? Where am I holding the grievances? How can I add another level of forgiveness? And I have a great life. I have a beautiful life. I love you. I know so many that love me. It's a wonderful family. Those of you who haven't heard, we're having another grandchild. We're all excited about that. I mean, so many good things. This one will be on Long Island, so you'll our daughter Maggie. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. But so what do I do? And so, I checked in, and there's these subtle places. That's what the thing of the color, right? There's subtle places where, and they're wrong. I don't want to remember that. And I get uncomfortable around, quite frankly, I have a horrific relationship with my brother. I have 2 brothers and a sister. I have a horrific relationship with them. Because I'm right. And I'm the victim. And they're wrong. Yeah.
That's true.
So, out of this tragedy, I said, it's time to put pen to paper. I don't know what it is that's between us. I don't know. But in all honesty, we all always play a part. In some way. I know you know me as so sweet and loving. And then some of you have felt the other side of me. So what happens, my family gets the other side of me all the time. Right, my dear? Yes.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. Trained to say that here. So, you know, and put pen to paper and just write down, like, what is it? You know, even if you're not gonna mail it, even if you're not, because this is about universe, this is about energy, this is about putting it out there, right? This is about cleaning house ourselves, and we have to walk through the fire for that cleansing, because I want the joy of life, I live the joy of life, but then why do I lose it? Why does it feel good sometimes and then I lose it? It's because of those little insidious places, those pockets. Unfortunately, it's the way our brain works. We hear something negative and it's like Velcro. It's it, sticks right there. But we positive, we have to hear it again and again and again, 7 times at least.
Okay.
A particular idea. So for every little thing, we have to hear it more. So we have to hear it more. So then for the work of the other stuff, we have to do it more. So this is a call. It's a cry out to allowing the exuberance of life to come in to each one of us. Let's make a difference in the world by cleaning up something that's there. Put it on paper, throw it in the fire, get rid of it. And if you're brave enough and it's time enough, and if you had someone else check it first, mail it. I'm sure you follow all those ideas. And maybe in your heart, you might be called to, in your prayer and in your process of this, might to do something else, which might mean a phone call or even an action. Because sometimes in our cleaning out, it means taking action because unacceptable behavior is not acceptable. And us accepting unacceptable behavior over and over again is again saying, putting that energy out into the world. We must make a stand, and you must either say it or move away from it. To let it just wither away. No more the victim. Life, light, what we are meant to live. We've been given gods and goddesses galore, all the help that we need. This Holi, make it brighter, make it deeper, make it more colorful. Look through the different brights. Where are you missing in your life? What do you need? Take the time to do the work for that. Reach for those colors. Till all of us can really, really celebrate as one joyous human brothers and sisters together. Holi ho!
Holi ho!